Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Solving and Applying Proportions Sections 2-7 and 2-8. We're going to kind of throw these together in a couple of videos as the material in those two sections kind of cross over easily for us to do that. So in front of you, what you need, hopefully you have, is a couple of things. One is a blank template, whether you chose lines or not lines, that's up to you. And if you need one, you can print one off at my website, or you can just turn a piece of paper sideways and draw 3 lines. That would be great. Get down the objective for today, which is that. Put your name and the date on it as well, and we'll get going. The first thing we need to talk about as we get into proportions is this thing called the rule of cross products. True for every proportion. All right. This is, it looks like this. Okay. We'll just write it as a proportion. Let's do the example first this time. Right. A over B is equal to C over D. Now this is a proportion because it has an equal sign. A proportion has to have an equal sign and 2 ratios. So you have a ratio equal a ratio. If you have that, the whole thing is a proportion. Okay, well, all proportions have this rule of cross products where cross products are equal. That's always true in a proportion. Cross products are equal in all proportions. Well, here's what that means in this example. If I multiply those two numbers together, A times D, I'll put a little X there for, I don't like to do that because it's a variable normally, but we'll mean multiply there. A times D, that will always get me the same thing. I'll change colors here just for fun. If I multiply those two things, B times C. A times D. So whatever those two numbers are, if you multiply them, you'll get the same thing as if you multiply the other two. That's always true by definition. That's what a proportion is. Okay, let's look at a really simple example. Let's say I know, I'll just squeeze it over here. 2/4 is equal to 3/6. Now I know that's true because I know they're both 1/2. All right, we know that they're equal. Well, watch what happens if I multiply those two numbers. 2 times 6 is 12. That's the same thing as if I multiply those two numbers. 4 times 3 is 12. That's always true in a proportion. Well, that's really valuable information for us because if that means if you have, picture you got 4 spaces here, A, B, C, and D. If you know 3 of those spaces and just this basic algebra that we've already done, if you know 3 of them, you can always find the 4th one. And that's a proportion, and solving them is useful because there are so many different ways or so many different types of application problems that we solve using proportions. Johnson County Community College has an entire class called Business Math that's completely based on that idea of using proportions to solve problems. They get pretty complicated, but it's true. They have that. Let's take a look at a really simple example. This is actually from page 125 in your book. Please write that down. 5/9 is equal to 15 over x. Now let's start simple, but we're not going to stay simple very long. But just to see the concept here, all right, copy it there, copy it there. And basically what you want to do is use cross products to find x, or the unknown. So if I multiply crisscross 5 times x, well, that's 5x. And that's equal to 9 times 15. 9 times 15 is 135. Now, solve the equation here. Divide by 5. There's your 1. You got 1x is equal to, that works out to be 27. Now, you might be thinking, well, I could have figured that out from the beginning because I know that 5 times 3 is 15, so 9 times 3 is 27. But don't miss the point here. I can change those numbers very easily to make it much more tricky for you. Because the truth is, we're not going to stay with these simple problems. You guys are going to move on to the more entertaining problems as you'll see here. Draw another barrier line there, and you may have to turn over to the back or go to the next page, whatever works for you. And just imagine sorry, I kind of ran out of my space there. We still got our 3 columns here. All right, I've got this crazy looking thing from page 126 in your book. Please copy it down and we'll talk it through. And hopefully you guys will be really comfortable with this problem as well, using some concepts we've seen already. In this particular problem, what we have is we have a numerator of x plus 2 over 5 is equal to this numerator, 2x minus 11 over 7. So first thing we're going to do is cross products. Why do I know that? It's because it's a proportion. I identify it's a proportion. They're telling me this is 2 equal ratios here. It's just that the numerators look funny. The numerators are binomials here. You'll learn what that means later. Anyway, so I'm going to cross multiply here. I have to multiply this x plus 2 times 7. Now when you do that, you have to write the x plus 2 in parentheses. Because the x plus 2, all of the x plus 2 is being multiplied by 7, not just the x and not just the 2. So you have to put that in here because we're going to have to distribute that. And then on the other side, we're multiplying 5 times 2x minus 11. So everything in 2x minus 11 is being multiplied. So when I distribute, simplify here like we learned in chapter 1, 7x plus 14. Keep that equal sign lined up. I love it when I see people keep that lined up. 7x plus 14 is equal to 10x minus 55. All right, now solve for x. And this we should know how to do, hopefully. I am going to subtract 10x here. You can do it your way. Just watch your signs if you do it differently from me. To x simplify. Here, I need a little more space. Oh, too much. Sorry about that. 7x minus 10x is negative 3x plus, bring down the 14, he's still there, equals is lined up. That's gone away. You got negative 55 here. Okay, negative 3x plus 14 is negative 55. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add negative 14 to both sides because I want to get rid of the 14 here. So that goes away there. Negative 3x is equal to negative 69. And now, scrolling down for a little more space, divide that by negative 3. X is equal to, what do we come up with? A negative divided by a negative is positive 27. Okay, 27. Now, you should be wondering if you can check that. You should be, because you can. And I'm going to do that in red. All right, let's check it. Here, I'll do it over here since we have some space. We got x equals 27. So let's plug, here it is. Here's the original equation. So let's check it. I'm going to take 27. It was x plus 2 over 5. So 27 plus 2. Wait a minute. Back up. I have a mistake here. Did you catch it? I caught it. Somebody was thinking you could get candy. That's not 27. I had it written down right in my notes, and I didn't write it down right for you. It's 23. Sorry, no candy for that. Close. I almost messed it up. 23. That's 23. 23 plus 2 over 5. Now let's see if this works. Sorry about that. 69 divided by 3 is 23. I glanced at my notes. I saw that, and I just read it wrong. If you add this up, 23 over 2 is 25 over 5, which equals 5. Now let's take that 23 and put it into the other side over here. 2x minus 11. So 2 times 23 minus 11 all over 7. That works out to be 2 times 23 is 46. Take away 11 is 35. Divided by 7 is 5. Now we're happy because we just proved that 23 is the solution there. So that's part 1. Okay, I'm going to stop the video, just hit the 10-minute mark, and we'll pick up with part 2 shortly.